Hello everyone. Hope you all are keeping well. On the behalf of the Global Forum for Teacher Educators, I warmly welcome you all to this great opportunity of learning, where we will explore the socio-ecoethical model of human rights education. As global teachers, educators, and practitioners, we have the privilege and responsibility of becoming global human rights educators. With this free certificate course, we can fulfill that role and make a meaningful impact on the world. This course is sponsored by the Global Forum for Teacher Educators. Gfte was founded in 2014 as a human rights initiative by Dr. Munir Musa. Gfte promotes human rights education through online training for teachers, value-based education for school-going children, and social activities that foster positive social change. The forum also offers free socio-counseling, academic counseling, and empowering sessions for destitute individuals. Gfte has close association with global organizations including the World Federation of Drugs, and SEMA Academy to support global human rights and peace education. Gfte has members from over 75 countries and has intellectually benefited more than 500,000 teachers and hundreds of marginalized communities at no cost. The forum is open to everyone and offers internships, fellowships, honorary professorship titles, and membership to deserving candidates. Gfte has several virtual academies, including the Academy of Professional Development, Academy of Human Rights Education, Academy of Environmental and Climate Literacy, Global Academy of Early Childhood Education, Global Alliance of Inclusive Needs-Based Education, Global Forum for Critical Reflection in Teaching and Learning, and Global Club of Mental Health and Drug Awareness. Here are some examples of our global members. Here is the format of today's session. Human rights education focuses on disseminating knowledge about human rights, equipping individuals with skills to promote human rights education, and developing values of human rights. Human rights education encompasses more than just teaching individuals about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Its essence lies in promoting and supporting pluralism, diversity, respect, dignity, and freedom through education. In addition to this, it also aims to cultivate conscious critical thinking and rational decision-making skills among learners. The Council of Europe Charter on Education for Democratic Citizenship and Human Rights Education 2010 defines human rights education as an education that can shape positive attitudes and behaviors of individuals towards human rights, besides equipping learners with knowledge and skills to contribute their role in promoting the culture of human rights in society. According to Dr. Munir Musa, human rights education is a conscious, incessant socio-cognitive and eco-ethical learning process that gradually empowers individuals about the rights of self and others. It is a preparedness towards making rational decisions through the conscious filtration of HR ideologies, socio-cultural context, and political will. It is a critical component to achieving sustainable development, maintaining human dignity, and applying social justice. It permeates a sense of openness toward embracing multiculturalism, pluralism, and diversity. Teaching HRE is not enough to guarantee peace and unity in the world. The real measure of success lies in how these values and principles are reflected in society through sustainable attitudes and actions. To provide a well-rounded education, we must prioritize the recreation of knowledge, and contextual skill building, and emphasize experiential learning over rote memorization. In addition to global values, we must first understand local values, and critically compare and combine them with global values to create a cohesive set of values that promotes sustainability. This approach requires conscious and critical thinking that is guided by ethical considerations to inspire social action. The preamble of the UDHR, 1948, underscores the importance of HRE by stating that, every individual and every organ of society shall strive by teaching and education to promote respect for these, human, rights and freedoms. Thus, education plays a crucial role in promoting respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. However, in order to fully grasp the impact of education, we must comprehend its nature and context. Article 7 of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights Education and Training, 2016 emphasizes the obligation of states to promote human rights education to foster a culture of participation, inclusion, and responsibility. Human rights education is a cross-disciplinary subject that encompasses various aspects of society, including gender equality, multiculturalism, justice, social issues, and governance. While pursuing a degree, students usually acquire knowledge and skills in their specialized area. However, every student must learn about HRE, regardless of their discipline or specialization. The values of promoting peace, supporting social justice, tolerance, gender equality, unity, and human rights are essential for our well-being and for the sustainability of society as a whole. Whether one wants to become a teacher or play an active role in governance, understanding human rights values and fostering a culture of human rights is crucial to make wise decisions from a human perspective. Our understanding of human rights and their significance continues to evolve over time. As societies progress, new perspectives, challenges, and issues arise, requiring us to adapt and expand our approach to human rights education. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, is widely recognized as the catalyst for the development and promotion of human rights education. In 1953, UNESCO-associated schools program initially attempted to teach human rights in formal school settings. In 1993, the representatives of 171 states adopted the Vienna Declaration and Programme of Action of the World Conference on Human Rights. It highlighted the significance of human rights education to foster peace, unity, and tolerance among global communities. It also recommended to incorporate subjects of human rights education in formal and non-formal learning settings. The year 1995 was declared as the UN Decade of Human Rights Education, urging all the states to promote HRE through the Plan of Action for the decade. After that, the General Assembly of the United Nations proclaimed the World Programme for Human Rights Education to advance the implementation of human rights education programs in all sectors. The first phase focuses on primary and secondary school systems, whereas the second phase focuses on the sectors of higher education, civil servants, law enforcement officials, and the military. The United Nations Declaration on Human Rights Education and Training was adopted in 2011. In 2014, different NGOs formed Global Coalition for Human Rights Education. They raised awareness to integrate HRE, and served as a pressure group to implement, monitor and assess the achievements of each country in the process of implementing HRE. The World Programme's third phase focused on strengthening the implementation of the first two phases, and promoting human rights training for media professionals and journalists. The fourth phase focuses on youth empowerment through human rights education, in line with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and specifically Target 4.7 of SDG. In addition to these, some academic institutions have launched programs on HRE, including degree courses and non-formal and informal training. Intergovernmental organizations have played a crucial role in funding, researching, and implementing HRE programs. We can see that the progress made so far in HRE is primarily due to the efforts of many civil and non-governmental organizations. Sustainable Development Goal 4 emphasizes the importance of quality education, and Target 4.7 has had a significant impact on promoting human rights education. This target includes Indicator 4.7.1, which measures the degree to which global citizenship education and education for sustainable development, including gender equality and human rights, are integrated into national education policies, curricula, teacher education, and student assessment at all levels. This indicator serves as a tool for monitoring progress in promoting human rights education and achieving the goal of quality education for all. Within the context of human rights education, good governance is one of the preconditions for the realization of human rights. HRE is significant for governance due to the following reasons. Ethical leadership is a crucial aspect of good governance. It involves leaders who are capable of thinking conscientiously and making decisions that benefit society while operating within an ethical framework and considering the perspectives of others. If leaders are knowledgeable in human rights education, their decisions will be influenced by HR values rather than being self-centered. The implementation of human rights is dependent on both local and global policies and practices. If these policies do not prioritize human rights education, it may result in devastating consequences. Therefore, it is crucial to empower leaders with the knowledge and understanding of the potential benefits of HRE. This can lead to the formulation of policies that prioritize HRE, followed by its successful implementation. Governance plays a crucial role in addressing challenges and protecting and promoting human rights. With adequate training in HRE, governance can foster positive relationships with organizations within and outside their country, as well as address local issues such as financial crises and security concerns through collaboration. Furthermore, crises in global governance such as climate change and the war on terrorism can be addressed through the lens of human rights values. Weak governance that does not prioritize human rights may result in HR violations, repression, and violent conflicts. To ensure that society will follow justice, fundamental freedom and human dignity, we need humane laws that can give momentum for the establishment of human rights mechanisms. By educating individuals on human rights and values, they can develop an understanding of the dignity of all individuals, as well as the importance of respecting diversity. This can lead to increased empathy, compassion, and a deeper appreciation for differences, ultimately reducing the likelihood of violence and intolerance. HRE can also promote rationale-based thinking, which can lead to a more inclusive and equitable society where human rights are respected and protected. Now let us discuss about Socioecoethical model of human rights education. This model has received global recognition from the Commonwealth, the Open University, the University of Lagos, Istanbul Zaim University, the British Council, and UNESCO. MECIM is the culmination of a decade-long effort by the author to document and observe HR practices in various teaching and learning environments. Using grounded theory, the author gathered perspectives from learners and practitioners in over 47 developing and developed countries via ethnography, resulting in the emergence of MECIM. MECIM has taken an integrative, dialectical, and utilitarian approach to introduce HRE to teachers, educators, learners, and anyone who wishes to disseminate HR values to wider communities through the lens of social consciousness. MECIM applies to a wide range of educational settings, including formal, informal, and non-formal contexts without any age bracket, in both developed and developing countries. While existing human rights education models, theories, and frameworks have been effective in promoting human rights values in developed countries, they may not always be appropriate for all developed, developing, and underdeveloped countries due to socio-cultural, economic, and political differences. Programs based on Western perspectives may lead to cultural sensitivity. It is therefore important to conduct a contextual needs-based assessment to ensure that global models do not overshadow localized knowledge, values, and authentic practices, for potential financial rewards and academic perks. This tripartite model, Mobius strip, conjoins social, ecological, and ethical elements that offer useful insights and interact dialectically for building resilience and supporting HRE practices. Recognizing the importance of socio-cultural structures and self-actualization is crucial to embracing and practicing common social rights. Similarly, developing an ecological identity narrative offers insights into personal identity and relationships with social, cultural, political, and economic environments. Ethics, in this context, is an individual pursuit of critical self-discovery. While personal values evolve through experience and exposure, they are often rooted in social and relational identities. It demands individuals take ownership of moral principles and filter them through the personal and collective lens. In Dr. Munir Musa's viewpoint, HRE is situated in context. Existing HRE practices must be revamped with an integration of socioecoethical concepts into HRE curricula followed by localized knowledge and skills, to develop a deeper understanding of how human rights are interconnected and are essential for creating a just and sustainable world. As formal and non-formal education opportunities are not universally accessible to all due to escalated educational poverty, the informal method can serve as a valuable means to infuse human rights values. According to Munir, we need to dismantle the social construct that regards HRE as an elite subject for the privileged, by blurring the boundaries to its dissemination. Many people are aware of the fragility of their rights and are often subject to discrimination, hindering their ability to learn and understand HR practices and take civilized actions. Failing to accommodate human rights education in informal educational settings risks leaving young minds, adults, individuals belonging to marginalized communities, and elderly people susceptible to radicalization and violence. Therefore, informal HR education should be taken on board to promote human rights values. Dr. Munir Musa recommends that HRE should start by assessing the socio-cultural context and political will. This includes examining the socio-political and ideological practices of a country, the state of human rights, and the social acceptance of human rights values. It's important to identify which human rights values are sensitive and to respect the cultural perspectives on human rights values. In the next phase, it is important to assess the dynamism of the ecological environment, including the convergence and divergence of human rights sensitivities, the risks and opportunities of teaching human rights, and the policies and practices related to human rights at multiple levels. This includes evaluating the state of human rights education, curriculum, courses, units, training module direct and indirect, and its impact on an individual's well-being, the community, and the policy-making process. During the ethical stage, moral reasoning and ethical ownership enable individuals to engage in ethical decision-making through critical thinking. To facilitate this process, ecological identity exploration is a key factor. This involves examining one's relationship with the surroundings and understanding the impact of one's actions on the world around them. By exploring ecological identity, individuals can develop a greater sense of responsibility and accountability for their actions and decisions. This, in turn, helps to promote a more ethical and sustainable approach to decision-making in HRE. To assess an individual's general understanding, attitudes, and desired areas of HR learning in the fourth phase, a combination of cyberethnography, reflective narratives, survey, and field study may be utilized. Dr. Munir Musa argues that human rights educators may extract or adapt the best practices or models of human rights curricula and coursework from other countries, which may not be reflective of the needs of the particular country. This approach can lead to the setting of lofty goals and the creation of momentum within the bureaucracy, which may fail to address context-based issues. After initial filtration, decisions about the content of human rights education should be made with consideration of the local context. It should not be drafted solely by human rights education experts. The inclusion of marginalized and underrepresented communities necessitates ensuring equal representation. The course should begin by discussing fundamental concepts, such as basic rights, human rights values, and movements, particularly in the local context, to provide context and relevance to learners, making them more likely to engage and be motivated to take civilized action and make a difference. When discussing HR laws and policies, HRE movements, and their existing state, local complexities, and opportunities should be taken into account. The course must then include filtered global human rights values to help learners to recognize the interconnectedness of human rights issues around the world and appreciate the diversity of cultures and experiences. By teaching a combination of local and global human rights, learners can develop empathy, resilience, tolerance, and respect for diversity, while recognizing and appreciating the experiences of others. This can also cultivate a sense of responsibility toward creating a more just and equitable world. To ensure a comprehensive and culturally relevant approach to human rights education, it is crucial to gather and filter relevant HRE resources from various sources. This includes resources, such as those for teachers and learners, as well as from the community members. To follow a socio-ecoethical model, it is recommended to prioritize the collection of local narratives, existing knowledge, and then filter and supplement it with appropriate global human rights content that fits the socio-cultural context of the country. While the adaptation of resources may be necessary, they must remain socio-culturally appropriate. To this end, the development of localized open educational resources is necessary to promote sustainable open educational practices in HRE. Essential competencies and skills empowerment must be negotiated within and beyond the cultural context. A combination of heutagogy, pedagogy, and case study-based approaches can be effective in various contexts. Finally, teaching HRE alone does not ensure peace and unity in the world. The actual litmus test is reflected through attitudes and actions in a sustainable way, and that is challenging to evaluate. Dr. Munir Musa asserts that the absence of familial or social identities can worsen grievances, which may further escalate when individuals lack the skills to manage internal conflicts. In such cases, it is vital to build resilience among learners. Munir's socio-ecoethical model of human rights education emphasizes the importance of empowering individuals about human rights, rationally and contextually. By doing so, the model has the potential to create a more inclusive society. Not all available methodologies for teaching human rights education can be universally applied, as cultural, social, and political sensitivities vary significantly across countries and regions. In some Asian countries, for instance, certain aspects of human rights might be regarded as taboo or clash with cultural and religious values. Therefore, it is crucial to be aware of the context and take into account any sensitivities or limitations that may be present when teaching HRE. This may require adapting or selecting teaching methodologies that are suitable for the specific cultural or political environment. It may also involve focusing on widely accepted aspects of human rights or emphasizing the shared values that form the foundation of human rights. Dr. Munir pioneered local pedagogy to teaching HRE. This approach aims to promote a deeper understanding and appreciation of human rights education by first building on learners' existing knowledge and experiences of their local cultures, societies, policies, and practices. This is done to ensure that the content being taught is relevant and meaningful to the learners. Once learners have developed a strong understanding of HR and local context, The log-local approach then introduces them to global knowledge and perspectives on human rights. This helps to broaden their perspectives and deepen understanding of HRE through the lens of different cultural and social contexts. The log-local approach also emphasizes the importance of adapting global content to local contexts. This is done by encouraging learners to critically examine global perspectives and to identify ways in which they can be applied to their communities. This helps to ensure that the content being taught is not only relevant but also culturally sensitive and respectful. Here are a few suggestions on your screen. You can get the free copy of this model from the given link. Please consider visiting our Facebook page, liking, and following it. By doing so, you will receive updates about free symposiums, conferences, webinars, and many more events. Stay connected with us through our Facebook page to stay informed.